Hello, my friends. This is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with a special Transformers review. This is the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Galactic Odyssey Collection Paradron Medics. Yes, this is an Amazon exclusive bundle, but it is not Amazon Prime exclusive. So I was able to just purchase it normally without having to go through some shady dealings and resellers on eBay. Although I gotta say, the last time I did it from a reseller on eBay, he did sell it for the regular retail price and not a ridiculous markup, so I don't want to speak ill of him. I don't know who he was personally, but you know, he did not price gouge and I respect that. I never did like this cardboard box packaging because it does occasionally pop up at retail locations, and I don't like that you can't see the figures. Like, there isn't even a drawing of what the figures would look like. It's just plain cardboard. I mean, sure, you have that really nice pattern painted on, but, you know, what if I don't know the character by name and I want to actually see who they are before I commit to purchasing them? Especially because these things have a collector seal you have to cut, so you can't exactly return it because people don't want to buy collector sets that are already been opened. Okay, however, although the outside of the box is very plain, the inside is actually pretty darn nice. I mean, look at that. You got the Earthrise, and then you had this cool map showing like Botropolis, Biosphere, Paradron, the world in question, Dominus, Micron, you know, planets, places, lore. And then, of course, you have the figures inside. The famous Paradron Medic, which is an Arcee repaint, and Ratchet, one of the original G1 characters, and I really like Ratchet. Like if the second character wasn't Ratchet, I probably wouldn't have bothered with this set. Like, I like Ratchet, so even though this is they're turning the Paradron Medic into a multi-pack hostage, this is a good one. This is a good figure to be multi-packed with, so I will accept that. Of course, they're held in with some twist ties and stuff, and there's some paperwork back there. So let's just get the two figures out of the way first, so we can see what paperwork they have. Bottom of the box, just cool, the pattern again. So we have the instructions, very comprehensive looking instructions, just like what Arcee came with. And this thing. This is a bio card about Paradron itself. Paradron, pacifist planet. Terrain, mostly cities. Sector, allied. Coordinates, zone 3, district 3418. Aspect, known hazards, none. Primary life forms, Paradron Autobots, peaceful colonists from Cybertron. Resources, high levels of energon detected. Key data, inhabitants are refugees from Cybertron, will not engage in combat. Planet accessible through space vortex. And then it's all just the same thing written in other languages. So yeah, lore. I like lore. Lore is good. I enjoy that. Alright, so that being said, let's talk about the toys themselves. So here are the two figures in robot mode, looking fabulous. I really do like these two characters, even though I know Paradron Medic was really only in one episode of the G1 cartoon and is really just a glorified extra if you think about it. But this is the very first official toy of her to be put out by Hasbro. That's actually part of the mainline Transformers. I mean, I do have that little Paradron Medic that was just basically a glorified statue, but this is an actual real Paradron Medic. It's not part of some Transformers Collector Club. It's not a convention exclusive repaint. It's an actual mainline figure that you can buy at retail. And at $40, it's actually a pretty fairly priced one. I mean, this is a Voyager. So Voyagers by themselves normally cost like $30, and then this would be $20. So this, by all rights, the set should have cost $50, but it only cost $40. So, you know, they may be a couple of repaints, but they are, you know, relatively cheap. They're markdown prices, if you will. Okay, so we're going to take Ratchet out of the way just for now so we can concentrate on the Paradron Medic, who I believe is better than Arcee. Yes, I believe this mold suits the Paradron Medic much better for reasons I will get into in a minute. But first, let's just talk about everything. This is a pure repaint. There's no new molding going on, so unlike the Elita 1 version of the remold, which actually has like different body plates and a new head, this is just a recolor. Although I do notice a physical improvement. The joints on the Paradron Medic version of this mold are tighter and more secure. On Arcee, they were all a little floppy, and she has a tendency to collapse under her own weight when I'm trying to repose her. So, you know, like, the build quality of this figure is physically better. It kind of leads me to think that maybe the Paradron Medic was manufactured first and then they made the Arcees and this is the one getting the mold degradation? Is that how that works? I'm not really sure. But one thing I do like, it's not just that the color scheme is different with the teal color, but like the face is genuinely better. Arcee's face is just an unpainted sea of white plastic with only her eyes to break it up. There's no panel lining, there's no differentiation, no makeup. While the Paradron Medic, she actually has a couple of highlights on her helmet picked out, and her face is a different color from the rest of the helmet. And she has lipstick painted on. So this is just a more vibrant and lively looking figure just because of that. And that's really the only difference in their decos aside from the overall color scheme. And yeah, that makes it better. I do genuinely believe that the Paradron Medic is a better figure than Arcee. Even taken in a vacuum, if you didn't care about the characters, then this is better just purely on the deco. Of course, her gun is weird. It is absolutely just a piece of translucent plastic. It's not colored. It's absolutely clear. I get that the Paradrons are pacifists who wouldn't have weapons, but instead of just making a glass gun, couldn't they have given her a separate accessory, like maybe a medical tool of any kind, like a scanner or, you know, something, anything other than a gun, which would suit her? I mean, she's a medic, right? And of course, the backpack is still gigantic and overwhelming and hideous back there, but you can part form it off just by unclicking that and then pulling that off. I like how this is actually a switch. When you push it, you see like it releases this hook. I don't think I mentioned that in my Arcee review, but there's actual engineering to the dismantling. And forget that ever existed. I don't care. Because now you have a screen-accurate Paradron Medic, and she looks fine. And why am I perfectly okay? Because the Paradron Medic never transformed. I don't believe the Paradron Medic has an official vehicle mode. I don't even know if she can transform. Maybe they just don't do that on Paradron. So this is perfectly fine. A non-transforming robot action figure is perfectly fine for the Paradron Medic. So you can just get rid of the removable kibble and keep her like this, and you have a perfectly fine action figure of the Paradron Medic. So yeah, in every way, the mold suits the medic better than it actually suits Arcee. And I know the Netflix Elita 1, in the Netflix show, Elita 1 never actually transformed into her vehicle mode either, but you know she has one. In the G1 cartoon, she did transform, so you know she does. So just giving her Arcee's hideous car mode, okay, you know what? I'm not going to go through the effort of hunting down the Elita 1 version of this mold, because even though it is a nice robot mode and it does suit her character design better than the combiner one that she has, it's a Walmart exclusive. There are no Walmarts anywhere near where I live, and it's a pain in the butt to try and track down online because apparently the pre-orders keep on selling out, so I don't need it. Like, if somebody finds one for me, like, and it's convenient for me to just get, fine, but I'm not going to go out of my way to seek that particular repaint out, even if it's it's a more detailed remold, but only for the robot mode. From what I understand, the vehicle mode still looks the same, and I really don't like that vehicle mode, and Elita 1 is a character that should transform to me. This is a character that doesn't need to transform, so it's fine. Alright, so that's my review of the Paradron Medics robot mode. Let's move on to Ratchet, the other part of this set. Okay, Ratchet. Oh man, I have all the good things to say about this guy. I mean, he is just a pile of boxes in the best possible way. This so looks like an original G1 cartoon. Like, I know I have been quoted as saying that I'm sick and tired of everybody trying to go for G1 accuracy in their modern toys instead of trying to do something unique and original. But you know what? It's fine if it's like a character that doesn't really have a lot of representation. Like, I mean, we had a perfectly fine Arcee before, and then they made a new Arcee that did a whole bunch of compromises to try and look a little bit more like the cartoon. But Ratchet isn't like that. We haven't really had a Ratchet that looks this good, so okay. And his engineering is not compromised to capture that look. Well, a little bit. Pegged onto his back is the top of the ambulance mode, which is basically a giant weapon accessory. Now, it doesn't really come off too far. It's just, it's just kind of back there. It's a little bit long, but it doesn't throw him off because it's not heavy and it's not, thick. And you can remove it, and he still looks perfectly fine. I kind of would want this to be he has peg holes in his feet, so you can peg it onto his feet and make it into a surfboard. Although, the light bars down there make it so that it doesn't really want to balance, but that is an option. I find that amusing. And it's actually specified in the instructions all the nifty stuff you can do with this. So we saw it pegged onto his back. But, I almost forgot that I left the gun in there. Let's get that out. So, he can wield his gun as a trained medical professional would. And you can totally just peg... he has a sliding peg here. So you can slide it up into the high position and turn it into a... I guess the instructions have it this way, so it's like a huge riot shield. Although it just kind of sticks off there. I kind of like to peg it onto his forearm instead, because when it's pegged onto his forearm, then you can get the elbow bend, and you can put better defensive poses, like Ratchet with a big old riot shield. That looks pretty darn awesome, if you ask me. And if you slide the trigger up like this, then you peg it in, and he has a really big, impressive looking cannon with 4 barrels of doom. Now that's pretty awesome. I mean, he can't really bend his elbow or do anything else with his arm, but he has all the range he needs to just basically be a standing artillery platform now. I can just imagine this thing raining death on a battlefield. So yeah, the accessory Despite the fact that it doesn't mean that the figure has to incorporate some part forming, it's still pretty cool. It's a cool accessory, like making the best of a bad situation. And of course, since Ratchet is based off of the Ironhide mold, it does do the thing that Ironhide did, and that is have the roof turn into a mobile weapons platform, or at least as much as they can homage it. So, how does this go? I'm trying to look at the instructions. Ah, yes, you peg the gun on sideways like this. Yes, mobile weapons platform. That's cute. Yeah, this is a gun. Yeah, it's not as impressive as a mobile weapons platform as the G1 toy had, but you know, like, I'm glad that they didn't go out of their way to make it to make that homage while sacrificing some of the figure's fidelity. Just this cheeky little reference is plenty for that particular gimmick. So now let's break down the figure, since unlike the Paradron Medic, I've never actually played with this mold before. He has really good shoulders. They go all the way out. They rotate. He has elbows that bend 90 degrees, and he has bicep swivels. Uncomfortable amount of hollow space in those forearms. I wish there was something there to fill it in. He has a torso rotation, a waist joint. He has really good pin disc hips that can go all directions, all the way. He has a thigh swivel that's very good. A knee that goes 90 degrees and can't go any farther because of the way his leg armor is. The feet do not go forward and backwards, but they do tilt out, so he can get a flat-footed stance for wide-legged hero poses. So that all works. And that's basically it. I mean, that's all the articulation you could really want out of a robot action figure, right? Oh yeah, head. Nice ball-jointed head. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Ha-ha-ha. I can tilt. His head is actually way more expressive than Arcee's is. And, oh, I guess it is his face. We should get a closer look. A little bit of overspray on the silver. You can see it right next to his eyes. But aside from that, yeah, very good. Very, very nice, handsome robot man face. I like him. He's a good old Ratchet. So yeah, that's my review of Ratchet in his robot mode. It is actually really amazing. Like, I can't really stress how cool this stark whiteness actually is. He's just really nice. I really do like this mold. There is one thing that I've always been saying that Hasbro should do, and that is the Auto Trooper. As you all know, like, you have like the Decepticons have like fodder enemies. Like, you have all those Starscream repaints that are the Seekers, and more recently you have the Vehicons, most famously the random fodder troops that were in the Transformers Prime cartoon. But the Autobots never really had those. I mean, you see in crowd shots that there are generic Autobots in the backgrounds that, you know, fight in the battles because there's more than 10 of them. And they're usually like a Ratchet or Ironhide recolor. So I always wonder, like, how come they never took this, made it like some generic military colors? Like, I think Auto Troopers are usually like mostly white with some highlights, or like blue. I'm not really sure, but they look like this. Like, put a generic mass soldier head up here, and like do a repaint to make a more like uniform color. I mean, he's already white with red highlights. Like, make it different from Ratchet, but still something that you could like army build. And we'll have Auto Troopers. We'll have the cannon fodder for the good guy side, so that we could get a bunch of them and have them fight with our Vehicons. I mean, that can't be that hard to sell, right? But yeah, that's me. I see repaint potential in this to be the Auto Trooper, and I really like it. I just like it. Okay, so I guess now we should get into their vehicle modes. One of which is really cool, and the other of which I wish that I could just plain ignore. And here's a Paradron Medic in the car mode. Yep, it looks like a bar of soap with a windshield. It is just a vague shell covering a robot that's not even really transformed for anything. And it doesn't have a back, and I hate it. And now that it's been featured in the video, I can turn her back into her awesome robot mode, get rid of that stupid piece of back kibble, and pretend that she doesn't do this anymore. But the real success story has to be good old Ratchet. Because this is a really nice ambulance mode. It kind of looks like a van because it is Ironhide. But, you know, it's still cool looking. I like it. You have the little light bar on top. You got windows, but the back is nice and solid. I haven't had a Ratchet figure since the Transformers Prime toy line, and I thought that was a really nice Ratchet, but, you know, like, this is a proper, actual Generations one, and I'm really happy. I think the only real major flaw is his feet are back here, and they have big, ugly hollowness. This kind of worked for the Cybertronian mode, but here on an Earth vehicle, kind of hard to justify this. Like, maybe they could have added some molding to the inside of his shoes to make it look like, I don't know, medical equipment of some kind. Like, maybe if instead of these little concentric lines, they did something to look like a folded up pad or something. I don't know what they could have done. Not jumper cables, that's for cars. Thinking like a defibrillator pads or something, although they will probably keep that inside the ambulance. They could have made these look like doors, is what I'm trying to get at. And he still has those little rocket thrusters back there, but you could probably pretend that they're just the lights. Of course, the roof, this is the one negative I'll give it. Like, there is parts forming in that you can't actually transform him with the roof attached. You gotta put the roof on after the fact. And since it is technically a removable accessory that you have to take off in order to transform it, and it's actually kind of difficult to pull off because it pegs in like 4 different places. If you were to lose this accessory, then the vehicle mode looks like this. And wow, that looks incomplete and terrible. It's horrible. Don't like that at all. So yes, be careful not to lose this accessory, which also does a very good job of storing his gun. That is a perfect place to keep the gun. Alright, so, but actually, let's get that back on there, because I do... Oh dear, oh dear. Ah! Okay, that's an important part of the order of operations. You gotta fold the windshield out. Make sure everything is lined up. Get this on, and then you close the windshield. Because if you do that out of order, then I just squeezed the wrong part and untransformed a bunch of stuff inside of him. Oh, but you know, like, once he is in his van mode, then he's fine. Like, you just got to be careful where you squeeze it when you get that roof on. The wheels don't spin very smoothly. I wish they were actual proper pins instead of just those stupid clamp things, but he has clearance and he rolls. I don't like that gap. There's one unfortunate gap. Not terrible. Nice Autobot symbol, though. So, yes. So, the Paradron Medics, completely unnecessary and frankly terrible vehicle mode, is completely overshadowed and ignored by the wonderful vehicle mode that is Ratchet. Yes, I am very happy that I got Ratchet in this 2-pack, because I really do like the character, and I do know that Ratchet and Ironhide are kind of famous for like never having had a really good Deluxe or Voyager figure in the actual Generations line. There was always some kind of weird compromise. And in this case, because of all the cool extra stuff that this thing does as an accessory, I will forgive the part-forming roof. It is an homage, and it's really cool in the other mode, so I will accept that it part forms off and forgiven. I will not forgive your part forming because your thing turns into a stupid accessory that doesn't do anything and is a completely gigantic and unwieldy backpack in your robot mode. You're awful. I hate you. But I love your robot mode, and that is where you will stay. This is Wake Angel 2001 signing off.